Good morning. I don't know if y'all remember when I started this. This was before Christmas. I was I had did this thing a few times, different ways, took it back down, and then I decided to make a cardigan out of it. And I was gonna make it for my cousin, which I'm still gonna make it for my cousin, but it's a now I'm just like, okay, I'm in a time crunch to finish it because my cousin's daughter is about to graduate from high school and she wants to enlist in the army. And I was already making this before she even made that decision, or before I even found out the decision, because I started this in December. So now I'm like, okay, I got a few weeks to finish this thing and, hopefully have it done before May 19th because it's my cousin's birthday, May 19th. And give this to her because her daughter's going to be in the military. So I was like, wow, that's crazy that I hadn't already started this. She don't know about it, and she might know now. I don't know if she has my YouTube, but I've been started this a long time ago, months ago. But now I'm like, okay, I need to finish it because I want her daughter to at least be able to see it. Because if she want to give it to her, she can. She'll have something that I made. And during that time, the only thing that I ended up finishing was I finished one of the hat and gloves for one of my friends, and I finished the baby blanket for um, my cousin, my cousin's new baby. But I didn't really finish anything else. Come on now, what is thing unraveling? But now, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, um, I'm not like on a time crunch. I am, but I'm not. As far as me doing the crochet, like I'm just doing it when picking it up when I think to do it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it looks funny right now because it's called a hexagon cardigan. So it's a six-sided cardigan. So it looks like this right now, but once you fold it, now now you have, sorry, once you fold it, now you have like a side panel, like the arm and then the body part. This is one side. I still have to finish it, but that's one side. This is the other side that I'm hoping to not run out of this color yarn because I'm not buying anymore. This has you see, one, two, three, four rows of that. I'm currently working on a row number 3. 1, 2, 3. Just started row number 3, and I'm hoping that I don't run out. If I don't, it's just not going to be even on both sides. One side going to have an extra row of white, the other side is going to have the row of blue. And that's okay because it is handmade with love. So what just happened here? And yesterday I woke up with a freaking runny nose. Well, I didn't wake up with a runny nose. Once I went outside with the baby, I ended up with a runny nose. We basically went outside 3 times because now he's not afraid of his electric car that y'all see me put together, me and my oldest son put together. He's not afraid of it now. Now he's letting us, he wants to ride in it. So yesterday, first thing in the morning, went outside before his brother went to school. And then right before nap time, he went outside. And then after nap time. So he went outside 3 times yesterday. And most of the time in the spring, I end up getting sick. So I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, I'm just rambling my mouth right now. But today is my anniversary. Today makes 7 years since the day me and my husband met. Believe it or not, 7 years ago today, me and my husband met on a dating app. Only people who know me know this story. But me and my husband, we met on a dating app. I don't even know if this app is still around, but if they are, they need to sponsor us. But whatever, because we are a success story when it comes to this. So we met on a dating app called Plenty of Fish. And during that time, Plenty of Fish was like filled of people who were like actively looking for people to date or some BS, right? And so I went through my share of people with the BS and then people actually wanted a date. Like anytime I met somebody, it was from there because I was not the type of person to go out like that or even to meet somebody out like that. So it was more convenient to be on the dating app. So then on this day, 7 years ago, me and my husband matched on that app and he messaged me. I think he messaged me. I can't remember who messaged who first, but I think he messaged me. And then we had like maybe one or two back and forths, and he was like, I'm not really big into texting. Could we talk on the phone? So he sent me his number. I called his number, and which back then is like, girl, no, you had no fear, which I ain't have no reason to, but like, anyways, that just goes to show the early 20s. Um, but we ended up talking on the phone for like 2, 3 hours. Like we was on the phone for a long time. And then the next day, he texted me. We was talking, and I had went to one of my best friend houses, and this was like when my godson he was like 2, 3 months old, and I was supposed to work out that day. During that time, I used to work out like every single day. That was like my thing to do when I did not have my oldest son. When I would take him to school, and if I didn't have to go to work yet, I would go to the gym. So I was in the gym every single day. So then, it's like, what you doing today? Whatever, whatever. And I was like, oh, I was finna, go work out before I pick my son up from school. So he was like, you want to go, go to lunch or whatever. So at the time, he lived in my hometown, which is also his hometown, but I lived in the next county, but I was visiting my hometown. That's where my best friend stayed. So when I was like, I don't know, because it was like really soon. Like we just met. It was, to me, it was like we just met yesterday, you know, and he already want to go on a date. And it was like I was very, during that time, I was very I would say the way that my mind was, it was not, how can I say this nicely? My mom was not as strict as it is now. Like nowadays is like, oh no, like I would never do nothing like that. But then it was like I considered it, and then my best friend was like, "Girl, just go. Like you could go to the gym afterwards." So I was like, "Okay." So we ended up meeting up at Gators Dockside, and we went on our first date. Had some chicken wings, some fries. We was talking. He was telling me about, um, what his, his kids and what he was doing and all of that, the things that he wanted to do. That's one thing I did remember, like even from back then, like he always talked about having a food truck and all of that stuff, like cooking and stuff. And then when we finished eating, it was kind of like we didn't even want the date to be over. Like, so we was outside talking. He was telling me about how he had just went and got a haircut and he felt like they lined him up wrong. So then I think that was like probably the first time I actually touched him because I touched his hair. And I was like, oh, it looks fine. It looks fine. I appreciate you, trying to get all nice and stuff like that. I was in some mismatch. I was in a mismatch outfit. Like I had on my Black Panther shirt because me and my baby, me and my oldest son, he loved Black Panther. I loved it too. So every time I would find something that had Black Panther on it, whatever, I would get it just so I could represent. However, um, I had my Black Panther shirt on and I had on like this like acid wash striped joggers because like I said, I was planning to go and work out. So he was like, "What else you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't know." So where we were, there was like a smoothie place there. So we went. I think it was Tropical Smoothie. Yeah, it was Tropical Smoothie. So we went to the Tropical Smoothie, got a smoothie. They had like this foosball table. So we sat there and played foosball. And I cannot tell you who won. It probably was him, to be honest. He probably won or he let me win. I don't know. But we had smoothies. We sat there and played foosball and looked at the place and was like, this place is nice or whatever. And then we found out that it was a gym right next door. So he was like, "Oh, you said you was gonna go to the gym." So we went to the place next door and did the little free trial. So then we ended up working out together. And yes, I am talking to myself. Hello. So then we went to the gym and we worked out. We did like the little gym tour thing and they was trying to get us to sign up for a membership. We was pretending like, we was together already, like been together or whatever, trying to look for a gym membership and wanted to do the free trial or whatever. And then once we finished working out, that was the end of our date. I got in the car that he was driving, and he took me to my car, and then we went. I think yeah, and then we went our separate ways. And then the very next day, spoke on the phone, text, went to go see him, and it was literally from that day on, like, and I guess that's why I say that today is our anniversary, even though we went on our first date on the 12th. But the day we met, it was almost like a date because we got the chance to sit there and talk on the phone for 2-3 hours and get to know each other before even seeing each other in person. Like we only knew what each other looked like from the photos that we selected on there. And here we are, 7 years later, married for going on 3 years. And from the day that we met, we've been inseparable. We spent every single day together, and even to the point where I ended up living with him, less than a month after we met. And here we are, 7 years later, married 2 years, going on 3 years, and have a 2-year old baby together. Now we're a family of 5, and it's been amazing. It's been a great journey. I feel like the perfect match. I've grown a lot during this time. He's grown a lot during this time. And I'm just so thankful to God that He even introduced us to each other, and that we were both able to find our person, because we were both honestly, like, in our own individual ways, we were like about to be done with dating. Like, I had this app like multiple times, downloaded it, deleted it, downloaded it, deleted it. So when I downloaded it this time, at that time 7 years ago, I was like, I'm gonna just see. I'm not even really looking for nobody, probably just a friend or whatever. Um, and we'll just see where things go, to be honest, because during that time I felt like I had a lot of things that I needed to work on before even really getting into a relationship. So I had just got on it just because. And he was at the point where he was just like, well, I'm a download it and see or whatever. If nothing comes of it, then it is what it is. And then he came across my profile and sent me a message. And here we are today. Um, but yeah, he knew that we was gonna fall in love, and that I was gonna be his wife, and that we was gonna be a family really early on. And during that time, I had a lot of things, like a lot of trauma that I had to get over and get through. But he was so patient and understanding, and even allowed me that, like, time to do that, but while we were together. And I'm just so grateful that God even blessed me, with such an amazing man. He's a family man and hardworking man. And, like, when I say family man, like, that's first. Like, he's really, really big on family. And I love that because I'm really big on family. I'm really big on togetherness. Thank you. Really big on togetherness and wanting to be around family and all of that stuff. And I feel like in this season it's so different, I would say, this year, because God has put us in a position where we aren't able to be with our family a lot, or to see our family a lot, or anything like that. Like, a lot of things have changed over the years when it comes to that aspect. But I think it really did teach us the importance of our in-house family being number one. We were pretty much just big on just family in general. Like, if you are family, you know we gonna help you, or we gonna do this, or we gonna do that, whatever you need. But I would say in the last 2 years, almost 3 years of us being married, that that's one of the biggest lessons that we've learned in the past few months, is that our in-house is number one. Like, if it can affect our in-house, or the flow of how things need to go, not that it need to go a specific way, but we all have our individual, excuse me, we all have our individual things that we need to get done, on a daily basis, especially with having kids. And before we had the baby, I had a little more, I would say, freedom to do this, do that. I had a better car and all of that stuff or whatever. But I feel like a lot of things aligned to the point where it was like, all right, slow down. Yes, you love family. Yes, you love friends. Yes, you love hard. But you need to focus on your house first. Get your house in order. Get, you know, a system going. And then all of that other stuff will come. You know what I'm saying? And I really think that it has allowed us to get, I would say, more grounded in trying to figure out, things for the future and stuff like that. And it doesn't even feel like 7 years have passed. Like that's I would say is the most amazing part, is that 7 years, when did 7 years come and go? It doesn't feel like that. And I just love that for us, that we've been through this journey together for the last 7 years. We've watched our kids grow from little 4 and 5 year olds to now they're 11 and 12 years old, taller than me, both of them, taller than me. And then we have a little baby running around, running the house. What is the question? What is the question? What's acting funny with the number? We've been married going on 3 years, and we've been together for 7 years today. I need to get some vitamin C, y'all. I didn't know brown was a color, was a race. I'm black. Black is a race. Well, I guess they would consider like Indians or something like that brown, but I have some indigenous percentage in me, but I'm black. I am a light-skinned black person. I am also mixed, but that side of the world I know nothing about. Thank you. I am so happy, so blessed, so thankful. So what we ended up doing last weekend, my mom came and hung out with us, and we were able to go out. We went to dinner. We tried this place called the BJ's Brewing Restaurant, which was really nice. Um, it was a nice, like, I guess I would say, intimate setting. It wasn't like a sports bar type restaurant, so it was really different, really nice. Um, we used the gift card that my mother-in-law got us for Christmas. Finally, we was finally able to get out together without the babies, without the kids. Um, so we enjoyed that. When I asked someone if his plans is oh, I don't know. That's different. I guess some people are not I don't know, cuz it's different. And then there's some people who would be like, "Well, I'm not African American, I'm black, or I'm, whatever." So, I guess the important lesson here is to not ask someone what their race is, because people can take offense to that. I'm not easily offended, so that's why I didn't get offended by it. Um, but there are some people who will get offended by those things, and take it a lot more seriously when I ask those questions. Um, but being that you're genuinely asking, I am mixed. My mom is black and Bahamian. My dad is said to be Colombian. He could be white. He could be Puerto Rican. I don't know. But I was raised by my black mother with my black family. Um, so, yeah, I don't take offense to that. As long as you ain't calling me out my name or anything derogatory, and as long as you wasn't doing none of that stuff to those people, I don't think it should be a problem. But I think going forward, you should just stop asking people what their color is or what their race is, because I don't think that's a good conversation starter if that's genuinely what you're trying to find out. Because in reality, if you think about it, right, anywhere that you go, you're going to find a mixed race everywhere. Like, you can go, of course, to America and find black, white, Hispanic, Indian, Caribbean, English, German. You can find all races in America. If you go to Mexico, you'll find lighter to medium to darker Mexican people. You go to South America, lighter to darker to medium, Colombian, Brazilian, Venezuelan, all of that. If you go to the islands such as Puerto Rico, Haiti, Jamaica, you're going to find all different tones of colors and what their race is. They're Puerto Rican or they're Dominican or they're Haitian, but they might have a fairer skin, or they might be a little more on the brown side, or they might be darker. But I don't think it's necessary to ask somebody what their color, race is, or whatever. You could just say, what's your nationality? That would be a nicer, more respectful way to ask somebody if you're very curious of what their makeup is. The respectful way would be, what's your nationality? Because you might look at somebody who is my color and they might be like, I'm Jamaican. And these days you can't say that that's not believable, because there are lighter skinned Jamaican people. There are Chinese or Asian descent Jamaican people, or Puerto Rican people, or Haitian people, or whatever, Cubans, whatever. If you go to Africa, right, depending on where you at, you can go to South Africa, which is the deepest of the deep, and find white African people. So the lesson of today is, ask people what their nationality is if that is your genuine curiosity. If that's something you're curious about and you're genuine about that, I definitely recommend to say that versus asking them, are you brown, or are you black, or are you Spanish, or whatever. Whatever, whatever, whatever. Okay? Right. Right. So some people could be like, I'm part this, part that, part. When I did the 23andMe, it said that I was oh dang, I can't remember if I posted on here, but I'm like 23% indigenous, 20 something percent European, 40 something percent African, and then some other percent South American, or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah. So I get what you're saying, but it's okay. Now that we know better, we do better. And yeah. But that's what today is. We're not really like celebrating today because we have things that we need to get done. I have to go to work today. My husband's at work today. I have to wash clothes before we go to work. Well, I have to wash clothes before I go to work. And I have to take my son to his dentist appointment. So that's why we worked it out to just celebrate it last weekend. But today is the day. And me and my husband, we're not like really huge PDA people. So even like if you see our social medias or anything like that, we don't really like post stuff on there or like a lot of like us on there because we're not really big on that because every single day, day in and day out, we're here together with each other. So maybe for birthdays or stuff like that, we'll post. So I'm probably gonna make a post today at some point, but it's never been an expectation of mine that that has to happen, or that if it doesn't happen, that it's a big deal because it's not. We deal with the everyday real life, not just social media. Even though I'm on social media, I'm trying to make a career out of being like a content creator on social media. It's just not in that sense because even like with my family and my kids, I don't really post my kids like that. I might post the baby, but once he gets to a certain age, I'm not going to be posting him like that because he's going to grow an opinion of his own. And if he does like my oldest son and not want to get recorded or be on pictures or whatever, then I'm going to respect that and not include them in that type of stuff. Only when my oldest son wants to be on video, that's the only time you'll ever see him on video. So that's that, y'all. I just wanted to come on here, and I didn't come on here to say anything about my anniversary, but being that I am knitting, it makes me think about stuff because it keeps my mind, like, it keeps my hands busy so that my mind can think. When my hands are not busy, I'm like, have a foggy brain. But yes, y'all, it's been 7 years. So crazy to even think that 3 years from now, we'll be together 10 years, married for 6 years, with a 5-year-old baby, 15-year-old, and a 14-year-old. Actually, 15-year-old and a 16-year-old. That is crazy, but amazing at the same time. So I'm gonna stop talking and I'm just gonna knit. Oh, I mean crochet. I'm talking about knitting, y'all. I got up earlier than I needed to, anyways. I need like some coffee or something. I need some vitamin C or take an allergy medicine. Don't even really like taking medicine like that, but I'm gonna have to do something before I go to work, being in people's faces sniffling. Wear me a mask. How's y'all day going? Or and what time is it where you are located? Right now it is 7:32 where I'm located in America. I recommend acting like it contains all vitamins and more. Oh, whoa! It's 1:32. That's cool. So half your day is almost up. By the time we get full daylight, it's gonna be about to turn nighttime over there. How long until knitting becomes subconscious and you can just do it? You just woke up. Um, I don't know, cause I've only been crocheting. So this is considered crocheting when you use the little hook thingamabob. And then the knitting is when you're using the two sticks, but I get what you're saying. Um, I don't know because I've only been doing it for since November. Um, yeah, I started around Thanksgiving in November, so like the third week of November, and I actually put it down after the new year. So I haven't been doing it long enough for me to just be like, um, I'm a very, how can I say it? I like things to be done right, and I'm afraid to just do this. Like my mind hasn't gotten to the point where I'm like fully comfortable yet to not look down, but I'm afraid that I would do it and one of the hooks or something would be off. So it's like even when I glance down, I might not even actually look at it, but I'm looking at it because I just want to make sure I do it right. Like I just put 4 in one spot when it's only supposed to be 3. And I don't want to make a mistake. And I want it to be done right. So I look, but there are people who've been doing it since they were like a kid, since they were in high school, and they can do it without looking, and they do it really fast. And I be watching them people on TikTok, and I just be like, oh my goodness, one day I'll be like that. But it's really relaxing, I would say, for the mind if you do have a mind that likes to push stuff together like mine does. That's why I go off on tangents a lot. But I'm able to hyperfixate on it. And I love that. And then it's also like setting a goal because I'm doing multiple colors. So I know that, okay, I need to do this amount of this color. And then after I finish this color, then comes the creative part because then now I have to make it longer instead of continuing to grow it this way. I need to make it longer. So I have to figure out a way to do that without it looking crazy. And a lot of times people use like patterns and stuff. I don't use a pattern. Um, I'm honestly not counting stitches or anything like that. So I'm more of a freestyle crocheter. Um, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe a year from now I'll be able to do that comfortably. I'm just not comfortable with doing that yet because you make one little wrong stitch, it can unravel because this is all just looped into itself. And like for instance, if this specific string doesn't get looped and it ends up becoming this string, like a different string, all of this could come out just like that. And I don't want that to happen. Even though I just did that for y'all, but that's not something that I want to happen. And then if I make a mistake and do it in the wrong stitch or something like that, then now I have to unravel it and redo it again. So then I'm making more work for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, I don't know what that song is. And I don't know who Weezer is. I probably have to look it up. Called Sweater. But yeah, I think this would be perfect timing um for winter this year. I know she's not gonna be able to wear it during the summer, but definitely something she can pull out for winter. And I was like, dang, I never finished the project that I started for my cousin. The baby's up. Thank you for subscribing. Alexa, turn off. Alexa, turn off. Hey, Bubba. How you doing? Say, wake up. Brush your teeth. You got a dentist appointment. Good morning. Good morning, Silky Butt. How you doing? How you doing? You had a good night's sleep? You kept crying off and on? You okay? You okay, Sinkies? Let me see. Uh-oh. Come on. Let's go get a new butt. Let's go get a new butt. Let's go